Now, for those users that are not working in fund accounting, you access EZeCabinet through the browser, as I mentioned. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in as me, with my username and my password. And then depending on the user and the password, it takes me into a set of folders that I have access to. So for me, I'm got a number of different types of documents I'm storing in EZeCabinet. I'm storing, AP stuff, accounts receivable stuff, contracts, expense reports, grant proposals, different types of things. And the folder structure that you see here is completely user-defined. So you as a company can decide, how you want to lay this out. And you can have folders, and underneath those folders, of course, you can have subfolders and more subfolders under that, of course. It's really as easy as saying create folder, and you can create the folders and subfolders, so you're logically storing this information. Now, initially, we'll set everything up for you. We'll set up the folders and the document types and do all that for you based on your specifications. But we'll train you on how to do this stuff. So if you want to come back and add new folders or change things around or set up new document types to store, you certainly can do that. You don't have to come back to us if you don't want to. So let me go into my expense report folder here, and I'm just going to upload something. So there's a number of ways we can bring documents into EZeCabinet. Remember, I showed you the add and the scan button within Fund Accounting, but within the browser interface, we can do very similar things. We can use an upload button here, which allows me to go out and look at my network drive, just like I did, from Fund Accounting, and I can pick up documents. I'm just going to pick up this expense report, which happens to be an Excel file. So I'm going to say upload and edit. And when I do that, it opens up the document here on the left so I can see it. And then it also lets me capture index fields that I had set up for this document type. And the document type here is called expense report. And the document types, again, as you set up, are completely up to you. And the data you want to capture with the document types that you set up is completely up to you as well. So this is what we call the metadata or the index field data that you may want to capture, because later on you may want to use this data to search for something. So I could give this an expense number. I could give it, an employee name, let's say. And I could put in a total if I so desired. Then when I save this in here, I've captured that document along with this data. Now, at any given point when you edit a document or you preview a document, you can always do annotations too. So maybe at this point, I want to mark up this document. I could highlight it. I could change colors, and then I could draw things like, boxes, or I could do sticky notes and put text on here. I could drop in images like logos, signatures, stamps that I wanted to put on here. So you can always do those annotations at any given point. So when I save this document in here, now I've saved that particular expense report into the folder here that I created called expense report. So again, that's a simple upload. You can also scan paper documents. So this is like the scan button I showed you in Fund Accounting, where I can click this and I can go out and I can give the document a name. And again, since I'm in the expense report folder, it automatically defaulted to that document type. And just like when I uploaded something, I could capture the index field values that I wanted here. And then I could scan that document, turn it into a PDF, and then I've got it stored in that particular folder. Now we have another capture tool that we include with this called the import utility. What the import utility does is you can set it up to monitor folders on your network. So when users are saving or moving documents into those folders, the import utility automatically picks them up and then uploads them and brings them into these folders here without the user having to push the upload or the scan button. So a lot of times we can use that to automatically pick up stuff and bring it in here. Now, documents stored in here, as we mentioned, are in their native format, so we can store anything. It could be a Word document, Excel, a PDF, a graphic file like a JPEG or a movie file, because we don't do any type of conversion like some of the other products out there. We don't convert things to TIFF or some proprietary format. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in the types of documents you're going to store. Now, there are a number of different searches we can do when we have all these different types of documents in EZeCabinet. We can do what are called file content searches up here. These are just Google-style searches, meaning you type in something you're looking for. It's a name, a description, a number. The system then searches the entire document management system for that value across all the documents throughout all the text to bring back the documents or document that you want. We can also do advanced searches. These are known as index field searches, where you're searching for documents based on a document type, and then the index fields for that document type, or across multiple document types. So you can build the searches you want. And then, of course, you can save them and reuse them later on if you like them. So let me show you a search by type. So first I say, what type of document do I want to find? So when I hit my drop-down list, these are all the different document types that I had set up. So I've got a number of different things. I'm storing different types of invoices, bill of ladings, contracts, expense reports, personal action notice. That's an HR document. So again, you can have any type of document you want to store in here. So let me look for an invoice. So when I select the document type now, it shows me the index fields that I had set up for that document type. So these, of course, are user-defined, but I had set up PO number, invoice number, date, amount, vendor name. So now I can search by any one or a combination of these fields to bring back the specific document I want. So I'm going to just search for an invoice number here. So that's an invoice number. When I hit search now, it's going to look for that invoice number for that document. In this case, it found one invoice that matched my search by invoice number. But I could have put in additional fields along with that invoice number to search specifically to what I wanted. So I got my invoice back here, and just like before, I can always right-click it. Maybe I want to send it to somebody by email or fax or view it in Word or as a PDF, Or, I can also look at any associated documents to this invoice. So that's kind of what this icon is telling me here. This is what we call the linking icon. So within EZeCabinet, you can link documents together that you want to go together. And those links can be automatic, and they can happen based on any of the data that we capture. So I captured PO number, invoice number, date, amount. So based on these fields, I can set up these automatic links to put things together. So with this one, if I click the link button here, I can see that my invoice here actually linked to a PO. So maybe there's an outbound PO, and it got saved in here, so the two got linked together. And it happened automatically. And the way that it did that was I basically just used the PO number and said, hey, any documents with the same purchase order number, I want those to be associated together. So that's how it automatically put these two documents together. And you can always manually link things together as well, where you create a link one time and then you have that link until you break it. But it's nice to be able to automatically do this, because when you do that, you don't have to do anything, and documents will automatically associate together that you want to go together. So that's linking. Let me talk a little bit about versioning. And as Tony mentioned, we can keep multiple versions of documents as well. So let me go into my contracts folder, and I've got a subfolder in here. So I've got one contract in this folder. The lock here that you probably noticed just tells me, based on my security profile, I can check out the document. So let's say I'm still working on this contract. I could check it out. It would open up in Word. It's a Word document. I make my changes. I save it. I check it back in. If I had versioning turned on, it would actually create a new version of that document when I brought it back in. So if I click the version button here, I can see, in this case, there's two different versions of the document. So by clicking on any one of the versions here, I can see what it looked like in that point in time, or I can compare two at a time. So what's the difference, let's say, between the two? And I'll get some detail here, which just shows me all the text. So I can see the things in red across the two are changed, green are inserted, and blue are deleted. So it's a simple way you can look at the differences between the versions that you have of documents. So again, maybe you're working on a contract or a quote or a proposal, and it's a work in progress and you want to keep different versions. Then when you get done, let's say now I'm finished with all the changes, I can promote this version up to, let's say, 2.0, and then lock out the older version, so only certain users or groups can see those older versions. So a lot of flexibility with keeping different versions of documents. With that, that's about all we have time for today. A few things we didn't get to, as I mentioned in the short demonstration today. We didn't talk really about retention management. We can go into more depth in searching and version control as well in a one-on-one demonstration. So hopefully this will spark your interest, and we can show that to you on a one-on-one basis. With that, I'll go ahead and I'll turn this back over to Tony, and we will conclude up the webinar.
Thanks, David. Give me a brief second, but I think this is where we're at. So obviously, David obviously does the job that he does well, and we're so happy to have him as part of ACOM and all that. But as we wrap things up, we thank you for your time today. We hope you found this worthwhile and informative. For any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to Susan at SoftTrac. Obviously, here's her contact information. And if something where you're interested in seeing more and learning more about EZeCabinet and such, we could set something up and do more of a one-on-one demo for you and show you a lot more of the things of the product is able to address, and even address any technical questions you might have as well. So, but again, we want to thank you for that. And before I go, I know we went into a little time for Q&A and see whether there's any questions that people had in the chat mode. And I see one, David, that I think we might address this. I wasn't sure, but does EZeCabinet limit itself only to accounts payable within fund accounting?
No, absolutely not. You can use it for really any type of document. It doesn't have to just be AP. It could be, other modules within fund accounting, but it's not limited to just fund accounting either. I mean, you can use it with any type of document. Maybe it's expense reports or it's human resources documents. Again, with that web-enabled system, you can store and manage all different types of documents non-related to fund accounting if you want to.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. See, so yes, it's, that's one of the strengths we say of ACOM and our document management solutions, like EZeCabinet, is that the flexibility of it, that you're able to save it in whatever file, native format that you utilize, and this is why we have many happy customers out there as a result of that. And I see there was also, as a kind of a follow-up to that, and I don't know whether people are looking to do this, but they were asking about like audio and video files, and we do address those. We're able to address, again, it doesn't matter whether you're even talking about engineering schematics, we're able to address most any file format out there as well. So.
Yep, exactly, because since those documents are stored in their native format, meaning we don't convert them to anything, we can really take in anything that you want to store in that repository. Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't put in any proprietary like TIFF file, whatever, where it's you find that it's restricting in regards to whenever you need to take that document to utilize for any other capacity that you need to do in your normal business transactions. So, excellent. Thanks, David. I think that is it. Is there, Susan, anything you want to wrap up with?
No, just wanted to thank everyone for taking the time this afternoon to join us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me either via email or at my phone number, which is available here on the slide. And I look forward to chatting with all of you.
Thank you. Yes, and we value this relationship that we have with SoftTrac. This is we take our partnerships very seriously, and we stand firmly behind them. And SoftTrac is a great company to work with. Just to make mention of that. So, without further ado, we thank you for your time, again, for your attendance in today, and we look forward to hopefully talking with you down the road. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.